you.
No idea what's going to happen.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, wait, let me turn this off.
Are we live?
Yes.
We're live.
Oh, we're live. Well,
Okay.
I'm going to turn this off while we're live.
We're live.
So that I don't.
Yeah. Talking Jesus today.
Yes.
All day.
Yes.
As much as possible.
I don't know about all day. I have things to do.
Yeah. We have to dial her back a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I feel like we should start with introducing ourselves.
Okay.
You go first.
I am Brandon Armstrong.
And I am Nikki Bode.
Nikki J. Bode.
Nikki J. Bode. I am.
Yes.
Brandon. Middle name.
Brandon.
Brandon, double B, B
yes,
squared.
Brandon Armstrong. That's it. The whole of it.
The whole of it.
I do have a first name, though, which is Richard.
Oh, Suge Knight.
Yes.
Oh, while we're on this topic of
Yes.
Suge Knight, there will be swearing.
Most likely.
And so
Yes.
watch your ears. If there's kids in the car, they're going to hear it. This is like the bus now. You're on the bus.
On the bus.
You want to be in the front or the back? I was always right behind the driver situation.
No, I didn't really ride the bus.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
homeschool.
No.
No.
Just
You're too old to be homeschooled. They didn't do that back in the day,
I
right?
tried it once because I wasn't a very good school person. I tried it for about a month and then they put me back in school.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, good.
No, I think I did well. Anyway,
You know, it's good.
another topic. Anyway, so we are here because
To talk about
we
Jesus.
talk about Jesus.
And
Yes.
what I don't know, really, I'm talking about what I don't know about Jesus, which is everything.
Right.
Which is everything.
Well, you know a lot. You just
I-
don't know you know.
Right. My heart knows, but now my
Yes.
brain's got to catch up.
Yes.
Okay. And with that, I want to start to ask you why you love Jesus so much, because you're the spearhead, and you. So I need to know why you
Okay.
love him so much.
Okay.
And be prepared to cry, people. 'Cause we're criers.
Both of us are criers. Okay, so my dad's a preacher. Was a preacher while I was growing up. He is not a preacher anymore. I grew up in the church, and I grew up in a way that I thought I thought God was very angry and disappointed in me, and not happy, like very, very unhappy with me, with everybody. You're all wrong. You're all doing it wrong. I made this great thing for you guys, and you're just screwing it up. And you better be better, or shit's gonna get bad. I am going to come down on you like the
Wow.
apocalypse next. I'm hitting you. So I just grew up under fear, a lot of fear, trying to make it, trying to be better, trying to make it look good.
Right.
And then when in my early 20s, I had a major life crisis. Everything fell apart. Basically by that time everything was a lie. I was lying to everybody. Because I thought if I couldn't do good, I just needed to look the best I could to whoever I was with. I mean, I was in the Marine Corps at the time. I was still going to church at the time. I was married at the time. So I was trying to be whoever I needed to be to look the best for whoever I was with. So everything was a lie. That finally all broke down. Everything fell apart. And I just had a major life crisis. So at that point in time, my dad, who had told me early on, he says, whatever else you learn in life, know that Jesus is the truth. And so at that point in time in my life, I basically just said, all right, Jesus, well, it's either you show up or I'm out. Like, I'm done. There's nothing left for me here. There's no fun here. There's no enjoyment here. I'm not good at anything. So you either show up and tell me you're the truth or I'm done. Yeah. And he did. He showed up massively. I mean, at that moment, like not in the days to come, but in that moment, he showed up.
That's so
And he
great.
showed up physically. He showed up audibly. He showed up just brilliantly. And from that moment on, which was when I was, I think, 24, and now I'm 49, it's just been a journey of learning who God really is, who my Father really is. And he's not an angry looking down on you saying, you screwed it up.
Right.
He's actually something so amazingly different, so wonderfully different. And it's been a beautiful, I mean, it's not like every day is magic and rainbows.
Right.
But it's growth, like we're really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first met you, we were, learning how to be friends. And we've slowly become better friends.
Yeah.
And you go through moments of, well, what does she mean or what do they not mean? You know, and like if,
yeah, right.
if you say something and I think that you're in a bad mood,
Right,
then I
right.
think, oh, what did I do? Well, it's not the truth. You still love me and you're happy. You're just maybe distracted or something. So then, you know, so it's, I learned how to see him so that I could understand how beautiful he is. Yeah. So
Got you.
yeah, and then we are great friends
We are great friends.
because
Because I laugh my ass off with you all the time.
no, because you're so just in love with
I'm in love
with
you,
life,
with everybody.
with
yes.
and you're happy, you're
I'm
full
not
of
all the
joy.
time.
Not all the time, never, can't. But
Can't. No, you can't. It's typically,
but
yeah.
I just love your heart.
Thank you.
And to
I love
me,
yours.
to me, your heart knows Jesus better than most. You just don't know Jesus.
Because yes, I need the words. I need to learn the words. I brought a Bible. There's many different. We're going to
Many,
start
many
from
words.
the very beginning because
You think?
one, how do you read this thing? Apparently,
Yeah.
you start at the back, people. Did you know that? You start at the back. With wait a minute. Nope. There's
Nope.
where. Okay, you start. You know where this all begins. With the word.
With the Word, and the Word was God.
Yes. Yep. People, I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten through maybe the first 3 pages on my phone, if that's a page, like first
Yeah.
3 scrolls
Of John.
of John,
Yes.
and I've had to go back already
Yes.
and be like, what did I just read?
Right.
What's the significance of this?
Right. Right.
As soon as you just have to read it because then you're never gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. There's
Okay.
a lot of that, but you don't need to read it fast. Like you can read a verse.
Oh, that's what
you
a
can
verse
read
is.
so there's the Bible's written in books. So the Bible is the big book, the whole thing, and then in the Bible there are books.
Oh.
Jeremiah, Habakkuk, John, Matthew. All of these are different books in the Bible. It's almost like, you know, like the Lord of the Rings has 3 books, and then
Okay.
somebody put those 3 books in one book, and you get the
got it.
whole.
Oh, they
That's
get the whole
kinda-
thing. That's the Bible.
Yeah, so the Bible's got a bunch of books in it.
Okay. And each book has a name, and the people they're named after people.
Not all of them.
Okay.
So
God, how many books are we talking here?
lots. I actually don't know the exact number. I don't know the exact number of books. I mean, I've known at one point in time. I'm sure someone told me, but I mean, growing up in the church, you hear all that stuff. But I didn't ever care to memorize it.
Right, for sure. So
Not the best school person.
Yeah.
Didn't learn things.
Yeah, but you got
That way.
the right lessons.
But I learned from the Father. Right. So there's a lot of them that are named after people, like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Okay.
Habakkuk. Anyway, there's a lot of prophets in the Old Testament that are named
so
after.
these are prophets.
Some of them are.
Okay.
Some of them aren't.
I need a dictionary.
So there's 2 sections: Old Testament and New Testament.
Got it.
Old Testament is what happened before Jesus was born. So the world was created by God.
Yes.
And then a certain amount of time came by, and then Jesus was born.
Gotcha.
All of that section, Old Testament.
There were still people in that Old Testament. Those are still people.
Those are people, yes.
Okay.
Those are all people, and it's just the written history of first the world and then the Jewish culture, the Jewish family, the Jewish nation that then went to where, and then Jesus was born. He's a Jew.
Wow.
He was born. And then from that point on, it's called the New Testament. And those men wrote the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They were actually men alive when Jesus was alive.
Okay.
And they wrote his story.
Okay.
So his life. He was alive from 0, of course, till 33. At age 33, he was killed. And that short life is written in those 4 books. 2 of them were his disciples, where people were following him around all over the country for 3 years, his last 3 years. And 2 of them were just men that just loved him, who liked him, who wanted to write a story. Yeah. And then...
See, he's a real dude.
Yes.
And there was somebody who was before Jesus who felt it necessary to let's document before what happened.
A bunch of people.
So
yeah.
what is so significant about what happened before him? Because even what happened after should be like the real deal.
Okay, that awesome question. I love that. Okay, so the Old Testament is God's love story to humanity.
The big God.
Big God. He says, I love you, and I am going to create a nation called the Jewish nation, the Israelites. And through them, I'm going to express my love story to the world.
I need to read this.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. It's wonderful. It's truly amazing. There's a lot of words in there, like you said, but it takes a while. But yeah, he made the world. He made people. And then people decided, you know what? I really don't want to follow you. I would like to do something else. And God says, all right, that's your choice. It hurts me. I'm sad about that, but I love you. And now I'm going to spend all of my time chasing you down and telling you I love you.
Right.
And then I'm going to send my son Jesus, which is end of Old Testament, to rescue you. Not because you asked for it, not because you want it, because you think you actually can do it on your own, but I'm going to rescue you because I love you. And then I'm going to tell you about what this means. And that's the New Testament.
Is the new love story.
Yes, same love story, but now with a new wrinkle in it. Because now I've rescued you. Okay, now I've come down and I've taken you into my heart even more. Like you were there, but you were running away from me.
Right.
And I am now going to open this up.
Yes.
Without like you were running away and trying to get away from me and hurt yourself and not be safe and do all these things. And I am going to envelop that. I'm going to wrap my arms even around that. And I'm going to protect you even in that. And I'm going to slowly call you to me. And I'm just going to be here and I'm going to be calling you. And as you turn, as you hear, I will get to pull you into my heart. And it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Okay.
It's just the Father is, and I this is another thing that I dislike. We call him Father in the religious world, in the church world.
Okay.
He's called Father because he calls himself a father in here, and he writes himself. He says, "I am your father." And earthly fathers, our dads, a lot of them have done a really poor job.
Right. Kinda,
yeah. And kind of, yeah. And that's, so then we learn what a dad is by our biological dad. And so now when we put that onto our God Father, because I learned who a dad is here, and now you're telling me your father, like, whoa. I don't want another father.
Yeah, right.
And so I love calling him my dad now. I love calling him my father, not because I know who he is.
Right.
But that wasn't always the truth, because there was, I'm scared of my dad. So there's a lot in that. Like in the Bible, he talks about himself in a relationship to us in a whole bunch of different ways. He's our friend, he's our brother, he's our father, he's our counselor, he's our lover. And it's that relationship that says, I am.
Have to get back to that.
I know. I am something that brings good and light and life and joy and relationship and safety and security. I am something that envelops the crap, all the junk that's you, and still loves you. I love all of that. I'm going to bring it to me, and we're going to clean you up. Not clean you up like we're going to get you right, son or daughter. It's, you're sucking on the poison popsicle. You're playing in the mud, and you're dirty, and you're filthy, and you've got sores, and I'm just going to hold you.
Right.
And through holding you, we're going to learn how to love.
Yeah. So there's the I'm telling you that I love you, and you're running from me. So it's the chase. Yes. And then the New Testament is the taken. Like now I got you.
No,
now I've kidnapped you in the best loving way.
Right. And I'm not going to force you to love me. I'm not going to force you to stop doing what you're doing.
You don't have to.
I'm just going to envelop you. And you take your time, and eventually you're going to see that I am an overwhelming love force is going to capture you.
That feels really good.
It is.
It feels like we're on a cloud right now. I'm like,
wonderful.
It's like, look, I'm jumping, and my glass isn't even falling over. It's beautiful. I love that.
Right. Yeah. It's
so
wonderful.
We have the old, which
Yes.
I want to read. So okay. So now where do we start? Because we have all of this. That is so many
Yes.
words.
Yes.
And you start at the back.
Well, yeah.
Well,
in a normal book, you're going to read the first page and go to the back page. Oh. When you start in the Bible, I always feel like it's easier to read the New Testament first, because it's easier to understand, maybe, or easier to, I don't know.
Is it more relevant?
It is in a way more relevant, but it's not the relevancy that is so important as much as someone reading it and understanding what he's saying. Why is he saying this? Why is this written down? Okay. And in the Old Testament, there's a lot of like, this guy walked over here and did this thing with this guy, and then it's this big story. It's this big laid out story. Where in the New Testament, it's more like Jesus shows up and says, "I love you."
Okay, it's like right down to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like directly like, "Hey, this is a relationship, and I am after you."
I am after you. I like this guy. He's like intense.
Yes, very, very intense.
I love the intensity.
Yes.
So where do the animals? Did we talk about animals and all throughout? Because I just gotta know, where do they come in? Where's the ark and where are the animals?
That's Old Testament. That's so cool.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So he created man, the earth and man.
Yep.
Man said, I'm gonna try it on my own. God says, that's not gonna work out very well. It's gonna be pretty painful and hard, but hey, I will walk this road with you. I am going to teach you how to come back to me. So then at one point in time, the flood comes and Noah's there, and Noah is his guy. Is like, this is my guy that loves me, and he's raising his family to know me and all this stuff, and everybody else has walked away. So the flood comes and he tells Noah, hey, build an ark. Take all the animals. So he does. Flood comes, flood goes away. And that's that. That's in the Old Testament.
And that's why all the animals survive, pretty much.
Yes.
It's because of Noah.
Right.
Love that guy. I love that guy.
Yes, because you are an animal person.
I do enjoy the animals.
Yes.
I do. Which is why it's nice to know that Noah is now the ace one. I mean, sorry, Jesus, but close.
Yeah.
Close.
You know what's funny is so God does this throughout all of history that we will read about. He brings in examples of like, this is what I do. This is what I'm bringing. This is who I am. So Noah was like a Jesus, like he was like, this is who the character of God is. I'm a rescuer. I'm a saver. Noah was the first example of like the Jesus, the one who's coming to save. Like they call them prophets. The prophets in the Bible, who the only thing the prophets talked about was the coming of the Savior, the coming of the God's Son, who will rescue us. And so Noah's like one of the prototypes of like, hey, this is what's coming. 2 minutes?
Okay, perfect.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. We could go all day.
I know.
Cheers.
I know. Yes. Cheers.
Okay.
So yeah, so many cool things.
Okay.
So much.
So because we only have 2 minutes, I did read John, which are 4 dudes, and they're not brothers, but they are, I guess we're all brothers, right?
Brother Nikki, sister Nikki, sorry.
Sister Nikki. So I guess I do need to get and read a little bit more on John.
I think we're going to start in John. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
And you read it and completely don't understand it, and that's fine.
And then you will dial me in.
Yes. Okay. Jesus is there. You just ask for Jesus for truth. Ask Jesus for knowledge. Ask Jesus for clarity, and he helps you.
He will just.
He's right there with you. It's not like he's out there in the cosmos. Like he is intimately involved in you right now.
So I have the answers, and it's Jesus. Holy shit.
Oh.
Wow. Truth bomb. Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Searching after truth is not a test. It is a freely given gift. You search for truth, he gives it to you.
Yeah, this is going to be really difficult not to cry every episode.
It's okay. I'll cry sometimes too.
You were supposed to cry this time. Why am I by myself?
I don't know. I'll try harder next time.
For her to feel the feelings.
Yes, I'll poke myself in the eye.
I'm just kidding. I love you, dude. Thanks for doing this first one. I can't wait for the next.
I know.
We didn't swear nearly enough, so everybody stay tuned.
Perfect. That was right at 20 minutes.
Oh wow.
So that's what we're doing, 20 minutes?